Hey guys, Jason from TechAU. It has been a ton of years since I built myself a PC, so let's change that. Right here I've got what is effectively my Christmas present, a brand new PC case and the components here to go together to form an updated PC. So let's get into it together, and hopefully if you guys have questions you can leave them in the comment and we can answer them. But this will be an initial build and then potential future upgrades that we can talk about in the future. Cheers, let's go. Alright, so we're starting with the case, and this is a case by Lian Li, and it is white. This is going to be my build, is a white PC build. Now not all of the components can be exactly 100% white, but the case should be. Alright. This is a case that can support multiple motherboards. ATX is what we've gone for. So we've got a box inside a box. That's a little bit wasteful, but all good. Right. Now to the business end. Alright. To start out, we get some panels and covers and stuff, I think. Nice. So one of the cool things, this case can support multiple configurations depending on how you want to lay it out with the GPU vertically or horizontally, or multiple configurations. Then one of the cool attributes is the I/O port on the front of it. You can actually get multiple I/O ports or bolts underneath to extend the amount of USB A and C ports that you've got. And you can also configure it whether it's on the front left, front right, rear, etc., etc. That is a case and a half. All right, so the idea with the white build, I've seen a lot of them online. They're not your regular PC that's all black. Something different, which is excellent. And sort of, you might pay a little bit more for some of the components, but overall, not a big thing. And this is something I do, not very often, every few years. So let's try and get all this up. Awesome, and give you a first look at the case. Okay, sweet. All right, so this will have an RGB strip down here, which is cool. Mesh top to let airflow out the top, and then you can get radiators and fans and stuff, obviously. Huge glass side and glass front. So sitting on the desk, I'll actually have to reconfigure the office because this will need to go on the right-hand side. You can do a lot of work to flip this around, but I think the layout will work as it is, and then it's just a matter of where you're gonna arrange the components, the fans, etc., etc. Some of these decisions are still to be confirmed, but wow, it's a beefy case, that's for sure. And so I love this sort of a design where you can turn on or off from either angle, which is great, and then rotate through your RGB. Awesome. That is very cool. I might leave that to the last because I think I know what's in there, and that's the exciting bit. I am pleasantly surprised that all of these turned up on the same day, and that was a good idea. All right. So, nice. All right, so I'll run you through each one of the components. White power supply, ASUS ROG Strix, and then we've got Prime Z690A. So yes, not a white motherboard, they don't kind of exist, but obviously basically the heat sinks and stuff are sort of a silvery whitish color, and the rest of the board, so I think that sort of fits together well with the white case. Power supply, there is no RGB in the power supply, but it's not the end of the world, there'll be enough for the rest of the stuff. Core i7 from Intel, this is a 12th gen chip. The motherboard actually supports 12th and 13th gen chips, so there is future upgrades possible there. This should have a stock cooler, which is what we'll install initially. but that's one of the potential future upgrades I was talking about. Expensive bit on top there, and then the cooler underneath. Awesome. Alright, so just some airbags, some jellies, sure. And then another cool piece of the build is this Corsair RAM, so white, which fits in with RGB strip across the top. So I went with two 16 gig modules. This is DDR5, so 32 gig, 5200 megahertz. There's enough for obviously 4 slots in the motherboard, so it's another potential upgrade in the future is to add another couple of sticks of RAM. Not terribly expensive to do that. All of this is about the same price of what's in here. So those following along and reading the site would probably already know what GPU that I went with, but for those that are watching the video, RTX 3080. So as much as I really wanted a 4000 series, you know, those prices are pretty crazy right now. And for those playing at home, we've got another bag of lollies, so I don't know whether, not sure. I'm sure they're very tasty. All right, so that is sort of the components of the build. There are some additional case fans and stuff that are coming next week. It's not the end of the world. I might run it with the side off to keep it cool for the meantime, but this is, yeah, that's awesome. So I think at this point, I'm going to work out how I configure the case first, and then start with bolting, so the processor to the motherboard, inserting the RAM, putting it in the case, and then wiring it all up. Then dropping in the GPU after that, I think. Sliding in the power supply and wiring it all together. But this is the start of the build. That is awesome. So, you know, in terms of ratings, this is an 850 watt power supply. It's 80 plus gold standard and modular. So we only need to plug in the cables we need to. I think I'm going with GPU across the top, CPU, motherboard, and then need peripherals from there. So I don't know how many we're going to fill out in that. But here's where we find out whether our cables are white or black. Yes! Yes, 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 yes. Somebody actually thought about this and they got white. That's at least something. I might upgrade these to sort of cables with RGB, look fantastic. Ta-da! Processor installed. Okay, it was a lot of anticipation and nerves for nothing. So anyway, that's in. So, let's go. This is LGA 1700 for those playing at home, so sort of a newer style socket that I've not played with. But now that's in, that's good. And then next we're going to do the cooler. And from what I understand, we're just going to literally push these guys through the motherboard, which is a scary concept, but sure. And then we're going to need that length to the CPU fan that way. Okay, that's 4. Okay, we've got a processor installed. That's crazy. Yeah, awesome. So that's fine. That's that. And now RAM maybe? I mean, I could put the RAM in once it's in the machine. Let's do it now. like that, RAM's installed. So CPU, RAM's in, awesome. Next up, put this in the case. Interesting. So the challenge is I've got to get it through here. There's sort of a I/O sort of port to get it into, but these are all riveted in, so they're not going anywhere, which makes me think we take it off. More lights, excellent. RAM's on, GPU's on, case lights on, and then now we're going to see if we get the video out. fan is not spinning, which is not good. Alright, so the build's done. It's time to see if it'll post. Turn on the power supply. We get some lights. Now, first time. Cool, so we've got lights on the case, CPU fans running, the RAM's got the lights on the motherboard, the GPU. Now we just need this thing to throw a signal out. DisplayPort 1, DisplayPort 2. What's it doing? DisplayPort 2. Does that mean it found something? DisplayPort's connected to the graphics card right now. I could put it back on the motherboard to see if... Hey! We're posting. Alright. Yeah! Sick! Alright, we've had a win there. So that error is probably relating to the fact that I've already used the M.2. We're into the ASUS setup, and obviously it's maybe written for the super ultra wide. But yeah, that's awesome. I'm actually going to run it without the side on because we don't have all of the cooling that I want just yet. Put that down there. But no, very happy. Other than this cable hassle that I've got to go and fix, we've got a running machine, which is excellent. All right, for those playing at home, it does help if you plug the CPU power in. So I had originally missed these two connectors up here. Plug those in and we're all good. We're posting now. So the machine's up and running. I've got to format the hard drive and set everything up, but super happy that it's all running. The RGB looks pretty awesome. Very happy with that. Obviously there'll be more customizations once I have it set up, but for now we're working.